Welcome, sentient beings from all known universes and beyond. It's time to activate your cranial downlinks and prepare to receive a raft of discussion on a cosmic ocean of science fiction and fantasy topics, interviews with local area genre devotees, and insightful prognostication by our soothsayers of science fiction, our forecasters of fantasy, and any other beings that happen to get caught in our gravity well. This is the Galactic Driftwood Podcast.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Galactic Driftwood Podcast. I'm Bill.
I'm John.
Charles.
And I'm Seth.
And today we thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about some of the things we're looking forward to doing, nerd-specific things we're looking forward to going to or doing after we get released from this pandemic lockdown. And our behind-the-scenes graphics provider, Linda, located a site on thetravel.com, and you can just go out there and just search for the 10 places that are perfect for nerdy travelers. And she's brought it up there on the screen. Thank you, Linda. And we're just going to kind of roll through that. And then there's also some places that each of us would like to visit that we found aren't on the list. So let's start at the top. Just leave it up there at the top, I guess, Linda. We can start there. So number 10, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. That looks like that would be an awesome place to go visit. Now, my question to the rest of the cast is, how many of you are Harry Potter fans?
I mean, a bit more before J.K. Rowling just shot all of her good public will directly into the sun.
Yeah. I agree with Seth. I love Harry Potter, but it's kind of it tarnished it a bit when J.K. kind of opened up on the trans community.
Right.
Yeah, we were kind of talking last time about how to love something when the creator was just kind of vile.
Mm-hmm. Like specifically with H.P. Lovecraft last week, right?
Yeah. The thing with loving H.P. Lovecraft, though, is that reading his stuff and buying his stuff doesn't actually support him anymore. But,
it does support his estate, though.
Yeah, but his estate, I'm guessing, is not like whoever is. Well, most of his stuff is in the public realm now, so.
Yeah.
So I don't even think it's doing much of that. But like his estate, I don't know if he even had any kids. I'd have to ask Katie that. She'd know. But still, like there was him who died long ago. He's not getting any of the money. Meanwhile, going to Harry Potter movies, going to Harry Potter experiences, buying the new J.K. Rowling books, all that still supports her. And you have to balance supporting her versus your love of Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I see, before you go down, Linda, I see in there that they credit the Wizarding World of Harry Potter with creating another couple of theme parks or inspiring a couple other theme parks. Galaxy's Edge, which Linda and I have been to. And then there's also the upcoming Avengers Campus, which sounds pretty interesting as well. And I guess my question for the rest of the crew here is, of those three, if you had a choice, you could only go to one, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Galaxy's Edge, or the Avengers Campus, which ones would you prefer to go to? I know I don't know. I guess since I've already been to Galaxy's Edge, I would go to Harry Potter at this point.
Well, I mean, Avengers Campus is the same place as Galaxy's Edge, so I'd want to go there.
To Avengers Campus?
Well, it's in the same place.
Oh,
yeah.
but let's say you could only go to one.
Oh yeah. Um,
Let's say I do what I want.
Well, yeah, but you can only go to one. You're
well,
okay.
it's
So
the
here's
new
the deal.
thing. It's like I know that Galaxy. I know it's a known quantity, Galaxy's Edge, and also I know that there's some guy who bought up all the droids, so there's no point in going there. So I might as well go to Avengers Campus.
So you'd go to Avengers Campus?
Yeah,
Versus-
simply because it's new and I kind of know what's going on. It's like I if the lightsabers were good, I might go, but I know they're not. So it's like,
all right. Charles, what
Here-
about you?
Here we are, just a bunch of lightsaber snobs.
Well,
well, yes, we are. Damn it, just like we are. And before we go on, it's like, what is your house, Seth?
What do you mean?
Harry Potter house.
Oh, what is? I don't know. Probably Ravenclaw.
All right,
I don't take personality quizzes.
that's all right. That's an acceptable answer. Okay, but go on, Charles.
I was never that big a Harry Potter fan to start out with. I missed that boat. I know. I now that's not to say I don't like. I mean, I've always been the way, for whatever reason, her books get kids to read and stuff is pretty impressive. I think
Mm-hmm.
because I've seen that happen. Kids that won't read anything else, give them a Harry Potter book.
Yeah.
But so as the theme parks go, it'd be one of the others. Probably, if I hadn't listened to John, or the Galaxy's Edge would probably be more fun.
Or
for
your
me.
speed. Yeah.
But,
All right. Cool. Seth, what about you?
Well, I don't know anything about Avengers Campus, but it's probably just my lack of knowledge about what's actually going to be at Avengers Campus. That makes me go more towards Galaxy's Edge.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the lightsabers aren't as good, and all the droids are gone now. But some of those rides and experiences they had sound pretty interesting. So I think I'd definitely, if I had to go to Disney and choose just one, I'd choose that. And I know that Harry Potter's over at Universal, but they're the same kind of place.
You said you'd choose one, and that one was what? Galaxy's Edge?
Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah. It's definitely worth going. In fact, Linda and I are planning to go again once the quarantine's lifted. Even though there aren't any droids left, there's still a lot of other cool stuff. And we're being facetious about there being no droids left. They actually do have droids there. Although I did buy quite a few while I was there. But we'll probably go back there again. I would definitely like to go see the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Avengers would be kind of fun. I don't know. I haven't read that much about it yet, so I'd have to see more about it before I would decide to go to that. But anyway, that's it. Linda, what about you, since you're listening?
I'd probably do the Harry Potter one, only because I've already been to Galaxy's Edge.
Right. All right, cool. All right, what's number 9 on the list?
New Zealand.
New Zealand. Ooh, fans of Lord of the Rings. You know what? I would love to go to New Zealand just to go to New Zealand.
I mean,
because it's just so amazing of a country.
And there's no COVID there.
Really?
Oh, that's right.
Well, I mean, I think they had a couple cases, but like 2, and then they shut the country down again.
Oh, nice.
But I mean, they've been COVID free or before that, they had been COVID free for quite a while, because of how well they handled things.
Yeah. I'd just love to go there just to see the country. But the advantage of being able to tour some of the sets from the Lord of the Rings trilogy would be too irresistible to ignore.
Go to Hobbiton.
Oh, wouldn't that be awesome?
That would be so nice.
Yeah. And just imagine all the interesting trinkets you could buy. They've got to have tons of little souvenirs and things on sale there. So I'm seeing all the marketing potential in my mind right now.
I'm sure some executives have had that thought well before you did, but I just kind of like to go to see, like, some of that landscape was just amazing.
Right.
And I'd love to see some of that. And I'd like to see a hobbit hole, an actual hobbit hole.
Yeah.
A real one with real hobbits.
Now, here's the thing. Here's the question to everybody. If you had the option of living in a hobbit hole, a house that was built into a hillside, and I'm saying, assuming that it was normal human dimensions, would you live in a house in a mountain or in a hill?
Are we talking? Well, let me be very clear. Are we talking normal human dimensions or Seth human dimensions?
It could be Seth human dimensions. I mean, you're going to design it. So
why would we want to make you live in what you would consider a tiny house?
No, we're saying that it's the size for us.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Why would we want to make you live in like a normal human house when you are a giant, sir?
I know. I'm just clarifying that there's normal human dimensions and then there's me dimensions.
Yeah.
Well,
so
I mean, you have to live in this society. Therefore, you must be disappointed regularly by the fact that the rest of us mortals have tiny stuff. But it's like ho ho ho, fee fi fo, all that stuff. But it's like, all right, for you, you can live in the side of the mountain with Seth-sized stuff.
Yay, leg room and not hitting my head on overhanging pipes.
Yeah, I take the mountain house anytime.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that make you a mountain troll if we did that? You just
What's that?
Charles or me?
You. It's like Seth the mountain troll pops out every once in a while.
I prefer ogre personally.
Mountain troll.
Well, here's the logical follow-up question then. Would you relish a title like Mountain Troll or something that would be sort of somewhat fear-inspiring to the locals?
Absolutely.
To keep them away?
Absolutely.
Charles, how about you?
That is a...
Yeah. I could use that now.
See, I would love it just because, like, travelers through the village would hear people talking about the ogre who lives up in the mountain, and they'd come up and, like, fearfully knock on the door, and I'd just be like, "Hey, how you doing?"
or here's the thought that just popped in my head. If you remember the Jim Carrey Grinch movie where a couple of Who's climb up the Mount Crumpet and knock on his door, and the door opens and there's this hideous faux creature that comes out, and he's behind pushing it, and he's got like a big horn he's screaming into to make the horrible noises that the creature makes. Would you do something like that to frighten people away and sort of add to the fear mystique
on Halloween?
Charles, how about you? Would you do what you could to inspire fear?
Well, no, I'm just wondering if I shouldn't ask the neighbors what they do refer to me as.
All right.
It might be pretty good.
John, how about you? Would you want to do what you could to inspire the fearful stories of your character?
Of course. Yes.
I never said I wanted to inspire fear. I just wanted to be called the ogre and let people draw their own conclusions and then have me shatter them by being a friendly giant in the living in the mountain next door.
Are we gonna leave the article like share screened or?
Oh, we could. I mean, I've got us all in a little box on the side so everybody can see us talking about it. I don't know. We can jump back and forth.
Well, what about you, Bill? Do you want the villagers to fear you?
Not fear, no.
Well, respect. Maybe you make it rain candy once in a while just to appease them.
Yeah, I would like them to consider me a sort of a crazy old wizard, maybe.
Yeah,
Oh.
Bill is definitely more of a wizard class.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a trickster wizard. It's like, if you summon the wizard, something good might happen, something bad might happen, nothing might happen,
Right.
but you never know exactly what's going to happen. So summon the wizard with care.
He's
Right.
definitely going to smoke your good pipe weed and bring a bunch of dwarves with him.
Right. All right. Let's go on to the next one. And then, yeah, I guess, Linda, after it's up for a while, we could cut back to the full screen of all of us talking if we're just blathering.
I was just curious because I just noticed that
I
it's
think
been up for a while.
that's probably a good idea.
Well, we just don't know when you're going to stop blathering.
That's okay. You can always switch back. Okay, so Avengers Station, Las Vegas. So this sounds like similar to Avengers Campus to me.
I think you will be surprised at how much smaller than Avengers Campus it will be.
Get up close and personal with props from the movies is actually an exhibit. Oh, so this is just kind of an exhibit.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
think I've seen video of this.
It sounds like a little bit of like the Star Trek experience in Las Vegas, where they have a couple of rides there, but then to get on the rides, you go through this winding, it's no longer there. You went through this winding path.
I remember that.
Yeah, all of this classic items, costumes, and props from the series and the movies and all that kind of stuff, which was pretty cool. You could spend just about an hour looking at all of that stuff and reading the plaques and everything easily. So, what do you think? Anybody for Avengers Station? I think I'm a pass on that.
I don't think Avengers Station by itself is enough to make me want to go to Las Vegas.
Right.
If I was in Vegas, I'd probably pop.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If I was in Vegas, I would happily go.
Mhm.
But it's not somewhere that I'm going to put on my map just to...
Right. Just to say you had something to do this weekend.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Let's see. So the next thing we have after Avengers Station is New York City. Now, this one is talking about Midtown Comics, which is one of the largest comic book stores in the world. So many filming locations here for movies. The Avengers film there. So, yeah, for me, New York would be a fun place to go to.
Not really nerd specific.
Right. I mean, if I was going to New York, the state, I would go to Ticonderoga, New York, and buy tickets to see the Star Trek original series set tour, which has all of the recreation of all of the rooms from the original series, from the transporter room and the bridge set to the medical lab, engineering. Linda's bringing it up there. So that's the bridge set, and it's all to scale. I think, John, you've been reading up on it, or you're aware of that.
It's 1-to-1. Right? It's a perfect replica.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And was this actually used in filming the fan series?
Yeah, this was for the fan series known as Star Trek New Voyages.
Mm-hmm.
There's another enterprise in in Georgia, that was used to create Star Trek Continues, but they're both like spot on replicas.
Mm-hmm.
You can feel the passion, because they were very painstakingly recreated in terms of detail.
Yeah,
I would like to see that.
Linda and I were lucky in the fact that when we were at the Star Trek convention in Las Vegas in 2019, they had the original series bridge set there set up, and we were able to not only go in and take pictures and film a lot of that, we also were able to buy a photo slot, so we were able to go actually sit in the captain's chair on the bridge and which was pretty cool to actually walk on that set. So I can actually count now, having been on 2 Star Trek bridge sets: the Next Gen set, which I was on when the Star Trek Experience was in Las Vegas, and then this one in Las Vegas for the Star Trek convention. So it's pretty cool to be able to have actually stepped on those bridges, so to speak. So
is Jersey close by?
Yes, it is.
New York City,
Yeah.
at least as I understand it. I don't know.
That's
I've
what
never been
in
there.
my head. People talk about popping over to Jersey, but I don't know. But it's like, if I was in that area, I'd want to go see the Jay and Silent Bob Secret Stash comic book store.
Oh, yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah,
it would be.
that would be
See
cool.
Ming and Mike again.
Yeah, the comic
Yeah.
book and short story. Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, we have to call them and arrange for like a dinner out or something. All right. So the next stop, number 6 on our top 10 list, the Game of Thrones Iceland tour. That sounds a little cold. It'd be interesting, I suppose, to see the Game of Thrones filming locations. I would be more excited to see Game of Thrones sets versus just, scenic areas where they had filmed. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't know. Like, how many? Like, you're not gonna see the wall, I'm guessing, because like that's all just CGI.
Right. There's no wall.
I don't know.
There'd be no sets there. It's just,
Yeah.
well, here's this wilderness area where they filmed White Walkers. Oh, nice.
Mhm.
I don't
I
know
mean,
how
I guess
that-
it kind of it depends on how invested you were in the show. I guess along kind of like with Lord of the Rings. I was heavily invested in Lord of the Rings, the movies,
Mhm.
but I can imagine someone else not giving a care about seeing Hobbiton.
Well, let me throw something at you, because I'm looking at both, like New Zealand and Iceland are places where for both of them here, I've Googled like New Zealand and sci-fi
Mhm.
and Iceland and sci-fi. And those are places, if you're into these sci-fi movies, because even some of the Avengers stuff was filmed in no, I've
New
just lost
Zealand?
where you're going. Yeah, Iceland.
Oh,
But there's all sorts of movies where they're all solitary movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prometheus, Oblivion. The stark landscape that's is part of Iceland is very popular but it's beautiful.
mm-hmm. Kind of like New Zealand as far as the scenic goes, and you want to go
True,
see.
but I don't think there's any like landmarks. I think it's just they
Mhm.
I don't know if there's anything there in Iceland that is necessarily like someplace you can go to and look at. I mean, the scenery is beautiful, but it's like
Mhm.
nothing, not even an iconic spot like Star Trek Rock. There's somewhere I'd like to go. It's somewhere in the desert. There's that, like, where Kirk fought the Gorn.
Oh,
like-
yeah.
I want to go see that. I do, but I don't think there's anything in Iceland that's particularly like that, an iconic something you can point to and say, I want to see that. It's like,
Now, here's the question, John. If you went to the Star Trek Rock, would you dress up in your Captain Kirk uniform?
first of all, I don't know that it's called Star Trek Rock. If I named it, copyright, give me a nickel every time you use it. But it's like, would I wear? Yes. Yeah. Would you?
Would you try to get someone to dress up as a Gorn?
Yes. Yes. I'm thinking Charles.
Charles as the Gorn.
Yeah, but it's like, just see Charles just, because like all you'd have to say, Charles, is that's all you'd have to do. Just wander around, do that.
Well,
And like die of heat prostration.
Well, nah, I'm sure all the rocks I'd throw at him would kill him first, but it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, you'd be if you're being accurate, you're throwing styrofoam at him.
yeah.
well, yeah. Yeah.
Especially, you have to be a real fan of a scene or something.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me, I have an uncle that was what do you call it? A Civil War
Reenactor.
Well, he was a reenactor, but he was a junkie. He was
a buff, a Civil War buff,
I
a
mean,
collector.
or same with the British man, but that era.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember hearing he went to
There's the Gorn.
one of the war scenes. It'd be something like that.
I think Charles could pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And everybody else saw two valleys, and he saw this whole war being reenacted in his mind, and in tears and whatnot,
Huh.
And but I'm looking at scenes of Iceland and going, God, you really have to. If you'd really followed some of the wars in Game of Thrones, maybe some of the battles,
right?
Otherwise,
yeah, I don't think that definitely wouldn't be a number 6 on my list. That's way too high up for that for me. All right.
Would you wear a captain's uniform if you went to Star Trek Rock?
Oh, absolutely. And maybe I could talk Josh Cato into making a Gorn costume and fighting me.
Well, sweet. Well.
I think Josh might fight you for who got to be Captain Kirk.
Yeah,
he might.
You might end up in the Gorn costume.
That's true. Yeah.
Since I think actually Josh would make a much better Captain Kirk.
That's true.
No,
yeah,
much more svelte.
I think you'd wear that though, not the original series uniform.
Well, you could be old Captain Kirk.
Fighting the Gorn.
Old Captain Kirk fighting the Gorn. That's not right. That's wrong.
Right. All right. Well, okay. So number 5 on the list, zombie survival experience in England.
Nope.
You wouldn't do this?
Really? Nope.
Why not?
I'm not big on zombie survival stuff.
So many things to do in England. That's just not one of the things I want to do.
Well, now listen.
Yeah.
What's that, Charles?
That sounds like fun, but they've got a point. If you've already got, if you made the trip, that might not be number 1 on the list.
No, but I will say I was in England for 2 weeks, 1 October, and they were just creating. So this would have been back in probably the mid to late 90s, and they in Piccadilly or near Piccadilly Circus, they had an area where they had created this experience. It was the alien experience from the Alien movies, Ripley and the acid bleeding aliens, and it was a pretty frightening experience. I mean, you go in, you're on the Nostromo, or on actually it wasn't the Nostromo, it was like a science lab where they were trying to learn about the aliens and maybe use them for warfare purposes or whatever. And of course the aliens broke out, and then
of course
yeah, and then the rest of the time you're trying to get out of the research facility, and as you're trying to get out, the aliens are crashing through the ceiling into the room. You're there with a bunch of colonial Marines, and they've got automatic weapons, and they're shooting at the aliens. And it was very dramatic.
But would you go to England to do that?
I wouldn't go to England just to do that. No, but if I was there in England, I would have definitely put that on my list of things to do.
So back, oh gosh, I don't know how many years ago this was, but in the early 2000s, I think, there was an attraction at Disney called Alien Encounter that was kind of along those same lines. And it was really kind of not something I'd expect to have in Disney, because it was really kind of a horror experience. So you go into you went into a room in I think this was Futureland or whatever that's called, Tomorrowland, And so you've got the interactive line going into the ride where you're seeing things about the various alien organisms because this alien ship is visiting Earth or something like that. And then they bring you into this chamber where you're all going to see a science experiment, teleportation or something. And they put you in these chairs. These are like interactive chairs. And that something happens with the experiment. The alien breaks out and the lights go out. And all you have is like the sensation like from this little interactive room. Like at one point, like the alien will walk across people's shoulders via like the chair pressing down on you. Everything will go quiet, and then you'll just feel like hot breath on the back of your neck as the alien is just right behind you.
That's very cool.
It was kind of freaky. I liked it. And now it's like a Lilo and Stitch thing if they've still got it.
That kind of reminds me of the I think it was at the Star Trek experience in Las Vegas where they had a Borg invasion 4D thing towards the end of the exhibit's run. And you go on that and it's like a Voyager themed experience. And the Borg are attacking the Voyager or whatever, and you have to get out of there, but your escape pod or something is captured by the Borg. And so as you're sitting there, the Borg are injecting you with nanoprobes and this sorts of thing. And it was a pretty interesting thing because you're actually feeling the experience versus just watching it in, going through it in a 3D fashion. You're actually feeling the effects of it. So that kind of thing is pretty cool. I think it sort of helps to immerse you into the whole thing a little bit more when you do that. All right. Charles, what about you with the zombie thing? No zombies for you?
Maybe you have. I'm also going to say no to anything in Iceland.
Okay.
And for this reason, I was sitting here thinking that there's two things I really don't like in movies as far as scenes, especially towards the end of a movie. One is where it's incredibly dark, because that's just, I don't know. It's. I know things can happen at nighttime, but still. And the other is when it's snowy outside.
So when you say incredibly dark, you're talking about filmed dark, brightness level?
Dark. Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
There've been quite a few movies over the years, and I'm trying to think of an example, but especially if you get it to the television, and you're sitting there like you've sat through this whole movie, and then the last 20 minutes of it is a black screen.
Yeah.
and I have the same kind of pet peeve when it comes to the last scene being Snow World, where everything's white outside. I think it's a cop out as far as special effects go, personally.
You must have hated Game of Thrones.
Well, I was worried about Game of Thrones. Yes, that part.
It was either dark or it was bright.
Well, and didn't everybody complain about the one of those last battles there where they finally battled the Night Walkers?
Well, we're pretty sure they battled the Night Walkers. We're not 100% sure.
That was the same thing. They combined both. It was dark and snowy.
Right.
What a cop out. I don't want to go visit that. I don't want to relive that.
Right. All right. So item number 4 on the list, the Museum of Pop Culture. And that's in Seattle, Washington.
That does sound kind of interesting.
Yeah. I wouldn't go there specifically to see that. If I was in Seattle and I was looking for something to do, I would go.
Is that what was? Is that where the Hendrix experience was? Or is?
I don't know. I don't see anything. I don't see where it says anything about that. The Jimi Hendrix experience?
Well,
what you're talking about?
Yeah, because I think I remember hearing they changed it up. to something else.
Hmm.
But it was
All
at the
right.
base of the space. But that was at the base of the Space Needle for a while.
Yeah, that definitely wouldn't be number 4 for me.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to see the Space Needle anyway, it would
Yeah.
be.
Right, but I wouldn't plan that as a trip just to go to the Museum of Pop Culture. I wouldn't say when the pandemic's over, I can't wait to go to the Museum of Pop Culture. No.
Well, in Seattle has other. There's enough TV series and whatnot that have been shot there.
Yeah.
Literally none of these are something that applies. It's like
Yeah.
I'm not waiting. Like so far, we haven't brought up anything that I'm like, well, oh boy, I can't wait for COVID to be over so I can go see these. There are things that if I'm in that area, of course, I'm going to try to make time to go see them. But there's nothing here that's actually drawing me.
In this list, you're saying. But
I'm not seeing anything that I have to put on my bucket list here.
yeah. What about the
mean,
Star Trek
Galaxy's
original
Edge
series
might-
set?
Galaxy's Edge might qualify for that.
Yeah.
It might.
And
But
what
a
about
lot of
the
these,
Star Trek
I
set,
get the
John?
feeling that this wasn't really written by a nerd.
No.
Because they just like put up New York City.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Number 3, National Video Game Museum.
Now, see, that does really interest me. I could probably spend a whole couple days there.
Really?
Yeah.
I would maybe say an hour to a couple hours, maybe, and it
Oh,
certainly
come on.
wouldn't be something I would.
Yeah, you have to go
Target.
to Texas for that one, man.
Look at those cabinets, though. They've got the old
You have to go
1980s
to
cabinets.
Texas. And not the good part of Texas.
You couldn't just lose a day playing old cabinets?
I'd play a few old video games, but I don't think more than a couple hours it would.
None of these are, so since I'm from the Seattle area, I'm gonna bring you back a step, because so 20 years ago, if I had guess, we'd go to the coffee shop that was in Twin Peaks,
Mhm.
and then as well as the Falls, and then if you were a fan of that series, right?
Mhm.
And then also, if you would watch Northern Exposure, we'd go out to the bar. I think it was in Roslyn, and just see the city that Northern Exposure was shot in.
Mm.
No, you guys might not be interested in that, but it's just if you're into pop culture stuff, this list is kind of. I wouldn't stop at a museum out there.
Right.
Because there's plenty. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of like X-Files scenes and there's all sorts of things you could see.
I bet there are X-Files. There are things that you can see in Seattle that you would recognize.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
But what cabinet game do you really want to play, Seth, that you can't really go out and buy? It's like,
Oh, so many, man. Like, okay.
all right, you don't care about the game. You want to actually stand in front of a cabinet and play a cabinet game.
Oh, I care about the game, but I'd also love to stand in front of the cabinet. That is one of my bucket list things, is to have a arcade cabinet here in my office someday.
Just want like one that can play all kinds of games. So
Maybe. Depends
switch
on the
back.
game. There are a few games where I would accept one that just plays a single game.
Like what?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the original like arcade game that came out. X-Men, the first arcade game. I spent countless hours and countless quarters standing in front of those. But there's just like arcade cabinets were a huge portion of like when I was a kid. So like that's, to me, that's like the king of nostalgia right there.
All right. I see your point.
Okay, so number
I'm-
2.
like-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like standing like I remember just playing Pac-Man, just a ton of the stuff that came out in the early 80s.
I could get into a little Joust or some Defender, but it's like, yeah. I don't know. I'd like to be able to switch it up. It's like to have one cabinet that I could program for multiple games. But
Actually, here in Omaha, we have the Beercade, which is down in Benson, and they have, I think, 2 floors of cabinets that are set up so that you can play while you drink.
all right.
And I've been once, but like one of the downsides of the Beercade is that they are packed solid all the time and just full of noise.
Well, yeah, but it's that wonderful like arcade noise, isn't it?
No, it's the too loud bar noise.
Oh, damn it.
I mean, they're still a great place. And now that I'm thinking about it, once this is over, I might go straight over there and have 5 beers and play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
So this has all been one cathartic trip to make Seth realize that he wants to go drink beer and play video games.
I can do both of those things right now.
But you want to go for the full immersive experience of the beer.
Yeah, people. I want people again.
What was the name of it again? The
Beercade.
Beer Cave. Okay.
Cade, C-A-D-E, like arcade.
Beercade. Okay.
Arcade, but with beer instead of R. Beercade.
So we brought you a list of nerd places, but Seth is actually giving you the only one that means anything. It's like,
No. I'm just saying we have an arcade here. Like, I was thinking about cabinets and arcades, and then I was like, oh, we kind of have an arcade here. Because there aren't many arcades anymore, and it makes me sad.
Is that the last one? Did all of them go? Did all of them finally go?
I mean, I don't know where any strictly arcades are anymore. There's kind of the Family Fun Center. No, I don't think that's even open anymore. I think they folded.
Wow.
They were always a little sketchy.
There's some pizza places with video games.
Well, yeah, but that's different than an arcade, like 2 or 3 floors of games that you just wander through. It's
yeah.
I mean, I spent a good portion of my 80s weekends at Westroads when they had a huge arcade. So it's like,
no, yeah, we all did that. I just and there are some spots though where it's not the same, but it's the experience is kind of there.
Right.
I know there's a bowling alley out west here that has an arcade too. They're
all right.
They exist. They're just
not very large.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. They're either not very large or they're very expensive. I forgot what the pizza place is called, but I took a couple kids there a year or so ago, and I think it cost me $250 or something for a couple of hours.
All right. Well, number 2 on our list is the Harry Potter London tour. This to me doesn't seem that exciting. And as I look at this picture on the screen where it has platform 9 3/4, and they've got that cart, the luggage cart that's half disappeared into the wall, I half wonder if they put that there just as a means of keeping people trying to running full speed with their real carts at the wall to see if it would actually work.
Well, that's darn it.
How is that number 2 on this
I
list?
know, exactly.
Well, like you said, I don't think this is a nerd list that's compiled by nerd. I think it's compiled by sites that paid whatever magazine to feature them.
Right.
Yeah, this is kind of a sad
somebody
list.
told one of their writers, go write an article on the best place for nerds to go visit.
Yeah, and see what you can shake people down so that they'll be in the article. You know?
Right.
What kind of money can you get for this?
Although, how would you get money from the Harry Potter London tour, I guess?
I think that they're just like filling out padding out the list at this point. I mean,
right.
I mean, we all know what number 1 is going to be.
Yeah.
But like New York made it on the
that's
list.
just it. I think they rolled up to the New York Chamber of Commerce and said, "Give us a little money, we'll add you into this." It's
Nah, no one.
well, there's so
Not
much
gonna give
better.
money for that. That's just a lazy answer to fill out a 10-item list.
Yeah.
There are so many better answers. Galaxy Edge should be there, but I mean the Ticonderoga thing.
Yeah.
The Riverside, Iowa, which is the birthplace of Captain Kirk. There's places to go and things to do, and this list is just sad. It's kind of tired.
Right. All right. So let's get to number 1 on the list, which we're all expecting. Number 1 on the list is
Haven't we already talked about that?
Galaxy's Edge. Well, we talked about it at number 10 because it was in relation to the Harry Potter world, which is number 10. So I'd say the Harry Potter world would be number 2 in relation to Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, Harry Potter world deserves to be way up above New York.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, not to say anything against New York. I'm sure it's a great place to visit, but it's not a nerd place to visit.
Right. Or the Pop Culture Museum, I would put way down the list. But yeah, Galaxy's Edge, definitely awesome, worth visiting. I mean, it's a, Disney, it's a total immersion thing. So you walk into the land and the vendors that are there, all the workers that are there, they're in character, and all the people that work there were encouraged to come up with their own backstories, and they act out those backstories as you talk to them. A lot of the signage is written in Arabesh, which is the alphabet of Star Wars. So you can download a Disney datapad type application for your phone that will help you translate a lot of the signs if you're not good at translating Arabesh in your head.
I mean, how many people are really good at translating Arabesh in their head, Bill?
Nobody.
Well, I got pretty good at it when I was there.
Yes, you got pretty good at it, but I mean, that seems like one more thing that lets Disney track where you are in the park.
Oh yeah. Well, and it had other features too, in that you could use it to work with your droid, and while you're waiting in line for different rides, you could join the Resistance or you can join the First Order, and they would send you on missions on your phone. So it was kind of a way of helping to pass the time while you're waiting to go in and see different things while you're there. But there's a lot to see and do there. There's, of course, the Rise of the Resistance ride, which is the longest, most complex ride ever created at Disneyland or at Disney. Definitely worth going to see. There's Savvy's lightsaber, where you can go build a lightsaber. I will say that the experience at Savvy's is probably mostly what you're paying for, because you can get, you can get much better lightsabers than what they have there, but
you used to before some guy bought all of Ultra Saber's lightsabers, because now you just can't. Or are you now actually a licensed distributor? Because I was wondering, because you have so many.
Well, can you ever have too many?
I don't think so.
No.
I do know.
But they have it there, and it's like I think it's like $200 to go in and for the experience and build the lightsaber. And it's not like an Ultra Saber's quality lightsaber, definitely, but it's only $200. So it's a sort of a gateway drug into lightsabers. Well, I mean, when you're looking at Ultra Sabers and you want to get a decent one, it's like, $500.
Yeah, I am familiar with that.
$1,000.
Mine was $500 for my Obi-Wan, and that doesn't even have a diamond driver. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this list was fart noise. Throw it away.
Yes, right.
What's our list?
Well, first of all, we're talking about Galaxy's Edge, but what about the new what do they call it? Star Cruiser Hotel. Would that entice you to go to maybe Disney World, Bill? Because I know you've been to Galaxy's Edge. You say you want to go back, but
yeah.
Would you like to see the immersive Galaxy's Edge, where they have a 2-day immersive experience where you actually go on your own Starfleet mission?
Yeah. You mean Star Wars mission?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Star Wars mission. Sorry.
Yeah. I would go. It's a completely immersive Star Wars themed hotel experience and a weekend. So you check into this hotel, and the hotel's designed to be like on a Star Wars era Starliner, with all the luxury that entails, and of course it's priced accordingly. And
Of
then
course.
yeah, and then you can take a shuttle from the Starliner down to the planet of Batu for a day of shopping and entertainment. It's definitely something I would love to do.
This isn't even open yet, though, right? It's
No,
just-
not yet.
it's under construction.
Okay.
Well, I think Linda just saw the look in your eyes and now know that's in her travel plans. But it's like the
yeah, there's a picture of what the hotel looks like. So
did
this
they
is like-
double down
What
on
it will look like.
right?
Hopefully.
Did they double down? Did they make a Galaxy's Edge in Florida as well as California, or is
Yeah, they're identical.
okay?
See the Galactic Star Cruiser. I think that's something I'd do. I don't think my wife would do it with me, but I would definitely be interested in something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Suppose we could do it for the show and then write it off on our taxes.
Well, we could certainly try.
Well, it would get Bill to do our taxes, just like how Bill got us a press pass to get to
Yeah, Bill, just like talk to
Comic-Con.
Disney. Tell them we've got this podcast and we want to do it for the podcast.
Right.
podcast with no range and totally outside your area, and it's like, but now it doesn't seem to matter when it's Bill because
Yeah.
like, oh yeah,
We can use Bill's like whatever force abilities he has.
To get us
Maybe.
in there. Yeah. Well, maybe I'll try that once it opens. You
yeah.
can only-
Why haven't you been trying to get us into like San Diego Comic-Con with a full press pass where we can just walk backstage?
Well, when you think about it, I mean, we're kind of only now reaching what we just passed our 60th show, or I think is this our sixth? This will be
No, last week I think it was 60.
60. So
Maybe.
we just had our 60th show. Yeah. And so I think we're reaching a volume here where we can show that we've got a consistent product that we're putting out. And, we've kind of been locked down in pandemic since February of this year. So there hasn't been much opportunity to reach out and go and do and see things. So maybe when the pandemic's over, we'll be at our 70th show. Let's see. Well, what do we got? Almost another year of pandemic lockdown before there's a widely available and adopted vaccine. So
But while we're going to all these fantastic locations, that brings us to our first sponsor, audible.com.
I don't. What's
Yeah,
that?
see? Come on.
Oh, you just did a segue. I see. All right. Nicely done. All right. So you see, advertising can fit into our format.
right.
Yeah.
All we need now are advertisers.
And we'll actually do crazy conspicuous advertisement. It's like just have like cans of Pringles and pizza and Pepsi and whatever all over the place. Just
Mhm.
we will be glad to market your product.
There you
I'm
go.
surprised that someone here isn't wearing an Ultra Saber, just like suit made of Ultra Sabers
Well,
with a
I mean,
discount code on the front of it.
Right.
yeah, and today, yeah, if you hurry, it's free shipping here at Ultra Sabers. So go. Not that I'm Ultra Sabers, but
I think we have digressed though. Our
Yeah,
list,
quite a bit.
our
So-
good list.
So tell them about the Stormcrow place, Seth.
So yeah, this whole episode was kind of me finding this this place called the Stormcrow, and that's up on the screen right now, which
there's
is
Cthulhu.
a bar slash or the Stormcrow Manor is a bar slash restaurant up in Toronto, Ontario. That just looks so neat that I would go to Toronto, Ontario to visit this place. It looks awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like
It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Monster pub down in the old market, except much larger and probably a lot more artifacts.
Is the Monster Pub still there?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, they were. Lynn and I were down in the old market on Friday afternoon, and they had people dining in their outdoor patios packed, as were most of the places down in the old market, which with the rising number of COVID infections is not surprising.
So I don't think we're actually.
Look at that.
I mean, their website is impressive.
Yeah, this is a place that's got some good organization and good design behind it. And it looks like it would be a really fun experience.
Yeah.
And they have one in Vancouver. So, if you go to Seattle, that's pretty close to Vancouver.
If Monsters could like get one more bay over, it could turn itself into this. It's like,
Yeah.
That's Monsters' biggest problem. Is it has absolutely no space.
Right.
Did you see that rusty batleth? That's awesome.
Ooh.
I don't think that's rust, Linda.
Huh.
That's a pretty cool place.
But yeah, I'm a big sucker for these themed places like this.
Yeah. Especially a place you can sit in, like, it's kind of like a Planet Hollywood, only for science fiction and fantasy, right?
Oh wow, is that a Metal Man helmet?
A what man helmet?
A Metal Man helmet?
That's a Cyberman.
Cyberman helmet
from Doctor Who. Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, Cybermen can't even drink. That's not accurate.
So he wasn't drinking. He was just sitting there.
So are you mad because that Cyberman is taking up space that you could be sitting in?
Yes. That is my exact issue. Get out of there, Cyberman. You can't eat the stuff here.
Well, now here's the question. Would you dress up in a costume to go to a place like that?
Probably not.
Let's
I'd wear my kilt.
Hell yes.
Let's push the boundaries here. What would it take to get you to cosplay, Seth?
I don't know.
Is there something out there that you could consider that might be possible that you would cosplay? You would entertain the idea, however briefly.
If I had the costume and I didn't have to make the costume.
Yeah.
I could be convinced to do any number of cosplays. I just do not have the time to make costumes on top of all the other stuff I do.
Well, neither do Linda and I. We end up buying all of our stuff. So.
Oh, me too.
But I also don't have the money to buy the costumes that you guys buy. Like those Jedi, I would love to have a Jedi costume like you guys have, but I cannot toss
How about
down
this,
that
Seth?
sort of cash.
You can do a Stormcrow D2020.
Oh, that's meth gators.
Meth gators.
Yeah, it's the D2020. So what's coming up next?
Playable D20 out of the plague-ridden infernal trash fire that is 2020. Because when the universe seems to be careening along the darkest timeline, why not play dice with it? So you roll it. You've got World War III as an option.
Meth gators is an option.
Bleach injection.
Murder hornets. Riots.
Autonomous zone. Recession.
Is zombie hurricanes on there somewhere? Because it's like, that's a new one I wasn't
injection.
Brexit, COVID-19, hand sanitizer.
Online education.
Riots.
Locust swarm. Yeah, remember the locust swarm in Vegas?
I love it.
There was a locust swarm in Vegas and I just missed it.
You didn't hear about that? You had to hear about that. You missed that?
How come I'm not hearing more about that? Because that's like biblical.
How did an actual biblical plague miss? When was that?
Yeah, I missed that. I missed the locusts. I did.
I'm looking it up right now. Yeah, it was in 2019.
Oh, that's 2019. That's a whole different year of catastrophes.
There's a video. Giant swarm of grasshoppers takes over Las Vegas.
But what's there to eat? There's nothing there to eat. It's like
no, but they were following a migration route, and it took them through Vegas. Yeah,
it's like the only reason Vegas has Vegas is because they pump a whole bunch of water out of the Oglala aquifer. It's like it's uninhabitable.
Yeah, that invasion happened just the week before Lynn and I were there for the Star Trek convention, and we were wondering what it was going to be like. I mean, it was so bad that they had people at the Las Vegas airport out there with shovels scooping the sidewalks up of these bugs.
Seth, does it surprise you that Bill missed the locust plague? It's like, no, it's like all the things that you probably have to hear about from other people, all the terrible things that happened like right before or after you got there. It's like must boggle your mind. But you get good stories because it's fresh on their mind because it just happened to them.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I would wager that the reason they got rid of it so quick is because Bill was coming.
Yeah. Here was the funny thing. We were watching the news articles and YouTube videos of people just walking out of the airport and walking down the streets of Las Vegas, rolling their luggage, and their bags would just be covered with, and them would be covered with locusts, and they'd be jumping up, and the bags were rolling over them, and there were crushed insects all over the sidewalks, and it was slippery and just
probably
hideous.
had a smell that's just all its own.
Yeah. And we got there just a week after that happened, and there was not a trace of it. It was almost like it had never happened. And we asked the person that was our van driver taking us to the hotel, and we're like, what happened to the insects? And they said, they mobilized a fleet of cleanup crew from the Las Vegas, infrastructure to just go out and eradicate any evidence that this ever happened.
Wow. Like that. Yeah. Can you imagine how much work something like that would take?
Oh my God. They had to be out there with fire hoses cleaning the sidewalks off.
Well, not just the sidewalks. I mean, you'd have to clean the roofs.
Yeah.
You'd have to clean the eaves of the windows. Yeah. You'd have to clean in the bushes and get them all out of whatever gravel is like makes or replaces lawn out there. Could you imagine all the cleaning that they had to do in those pools?
Yeah. Well, it says an invasion of pallid-winged grasshoppers descended on Las Vegas this past week, taking over the Strip and several of the city's most popular tourist spots, including the night skies above the Luxor Hotel and Casino. Because especially the Luxor, because it has that sky beam, that powerful column of light. It shoots straight up, and it attracted the insects, and they were just covering the pyramid.
It's like that. It's like the scene from Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah. Said the experts were saying that the grasshopper invasion could have lingered in Las Vegas for weeks.
Oh, wow.
But Bill came and saved them all.
Yeah. Wow. Oh yeah, there's a picture Linda's got. So that must be all of the grasshoppers in the air around that giant light.
Wow.
My God. How did I miss this?
I don't know how you missed it.
It wasn't 2020 at the time, so we weren't all like, "Oh, the world's burning down."
Yes, right.
It's just like it sucks because of Trump.
Right. Yeah, it was quite the thing, and it was amazing. There was not a trace of it. I mean, the work they must have done to clean that up, I couldn't imagine it. We were so surprised. We were expecting to see at least, residue on the ground, but nothing.
Yeah, that had to, so much work.
Yeah.
Well, the whole city knows how to get rid of evidence. And
ooh. Shots fired.
There's
he's I mean, it's like if it's a secret, it's a thinly veiled secret that.
Yeah, look at that around streetlights.
Wow.
Well, that would have been a nightmare to have to walk in.
Oh, it was all over. I mean, you can go out to YouTube and look for videos on it. I mean, there's people shooting videos as they're walking down the Strip, and it's just amazing. I mean, I'm looking at a picture right now that's just got the sidewalk covered with it. The walls of the buildings are covered.
That would be one hell of a vacation. I would actually, so I would go to Vegas to see that. That would be an experience. I'd go to Vegas.
You could say you lived through a plague of locusts in Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
I mean, if nothing else, that would be an experience you wouldn't ever have again, hopefully.
Although 2020 is not over yet.
Don't tempt it, Bill. Come on.
Right. So, yeah, that was quite a deal. So anyway, yeah, the Storm Crow. What else? So we already talked about the Star Trek original series set in Ticonderoga. I would love to see that. John mentioned Captain Kirk's birthplace,
Riverside, Iowa.
Riverside, Iowa.
They have embraced it. There's a statue there.
Yeah.
That does and does not look like Captain Kirk at the same time.
Right.
I'm not sure that Riverside had the actual copyright permission to make a Captain Kirk statue when they made it, but it's like,
here's Vulcan, Alberta, dubbed the Star Trek capital of Canada. Vulcan, just an hour from the city of Calgary, sits on the western edge of the Canadian Badlands. It's a town of less than 2,000, but it's worked hard to take advantage of its name by creating a fun, unique Star Trek-related identity to make it stand out from other small prairie towns.
Oh, that looks cool. Oh, that's Tunisia.
yeah, that's where the original set. They're still there, actually.
Oh.
It's Matmos, Tunisia.
Very
No,
close.
I know what you're going for, Bill.
It's
Yeah.
not Matmos, it's Matma. But Matmos would be awesome.
Something that belongs on any like nerd vacation list. I would go there for NASA.
Oh, definitely.
Oh,
and
yeah.
if you're going there, I would highly recommend taking the astronaut training experience. It's a full day of stuff, and you get to do everything from ride in 3-axis spinner device. They've got scaffolding that looks like the side of a space station, and they hook you up to this harness that's connected to these cables with giant weights, and basically it simulates weightlessness, and you can pull yourself along the scaffolding with no weight, and you can see what it would be like to be in a no weight environment in space, which is pretty cool.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, and then they have different training throughout the day where you go to these different simulators and you practice doing things like docking the ship to the space station or using the remote manipulator arm to move a satellite out of the cargo bay. And you run through all of this stuff. And then at the end of the day, the last thing you do is you separate into two groups, and one group goes into the shuttle to perform the mission, and the other group goes into mission control to actually launch the mission and kind of run it. And yeah, it was quite a fascinating experience to get to try all of that. So
that belongs on the top 10 list. Right
definitely belongs on the top 10 list. I would definitely do that again. Although I will say that 3-axis spinner almost killed me. If you have any degree of motion sensitivity at all, yeah.
Oh
there you
my
go.
God.
Yeah, that's it. That is it. And that almost looks like me. But anyway.
They probably have to clean that up a whole lot.
Yeah. When you go in there, before you get on it, you have to empty your pockets of everything, because anything in your pockets will go flying out. And they put you in it, they strap you in, and you're in for a full minute.
See, this is where I think NASA should consider maybe eliminating that, because they need more budget. So they just say whatever falls out of your pockets is ours.
Yeah. Well,
And
this is
help
actually
fund-
not. Yeah, this part's not run by NASA. It's an independent company.
Ah,
Yeah.
So
So
Lockheed Martin.
They
yeah.
just have a guy wandering around grabbing stuff for the Space Force, is what you're saying.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but it's really worth doing. We're seeing. It was kind of fun because when Linda and I were there, we got selected for mission control, which was awesome. And then you could draw out a bucket what you wanted to do, and I ended up being the Gene Krantz guy, the director, mission control director, and Linda was public relations. So yeah, worked out perfect. So we had a blast.
So another another location that I think would be amazing to visit as a nerd, and maybe less for you guys, but this is be more for my generation, and probably for John as well. But Akihabara, Electric Town in Japan,
Ooh.
like that would just be something to see. That
So would
be
you go to
amazing.
Japan just to see that, or would you do that while
Well,
visiting?
it's probably a
Japan?
whole list of various sci-fi and anime things I'd want to see there.
Yeah, I mean, there's the Gundam in Japan now.
Oh yeah, I
Have
forgot.
you seen the news story about that, Bill?
The full size.
Yeah, actually, I did.
The full-size Gundam?
Yeah, that's pretty
It can-
amazing.
It can walk now.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
And Neil? Yeah,
Oh.
I mean, look at that.
Wow,
That would just be a thing to see.
that makes
An
Times Square
experience.
look kind of sad.
Well, yeah, that's got to be Tokyo, huh?
And I mean, there are so many like gaming and like
That's the
game
Aki.
stores and arcades.
What was it called again? Sam?
Akihabara. I need to see it again. Where's my Akihabara?
That's what.
And
that
I'm
is.
probably pronouncing that very wrong. I'm sorry, listeners who know how to pronounce it. If I ever go, I'll make sure to learn how it's properly pronounced.
There you go. How about you, Charles? Where would you go?
I don't know.
Charles wants to go to London and go through the Doctor Who exhibit so he can see what his head in a box would look like.
That's you keep pushing Charles for that head in a box thing, man.
It'll happen. It'll happen.
It's like, all right, did you tell him he has to paint his head blue too?
Yeah, he knows.
All right, okay. It's just like,
Here's
what, have you
Cardiff.
just accepted it, Charles? You're just like, okay.
He's
Well, it's
Dorian.
Sooner or later, I figure it's going to happen.
Here's
Yeah, he's
Cardiff for Doctor Who.
Dorian
But
Meldovar.
I don't think I should have to build my own box.
No, we could provide the box for you.
Isn't
long as
that
you can-
big of you?
As long as you can provide the head, we can provide the box.
Well, would you go to Tokyo, Bill? Would you go to Japan for any nerd stuff? Like they do have a Tokyo Disneyland, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I would go to Japan just to see Japan, and then while I was there, I would, of course, take in a lot of the tourist stuff, especially stuff, anything that's of interest to nerds. But yeah, definitely, I would go to Japan.
All right, cool. I like that.
Yeah,
But I mean,
I don't know
Like,
if I'd have sushi. Have you ever had sushi, John?
no, that's fish that's not cooked. No, thank you. But
Heathens and persecute the heathens who don't like the sushi fish.
well,
You're big sushi
You are
fans,
my
Seth?
enemies now.
Yeah.
somewhere in the world, I read about this. There is a full-size version of Super Mario World
Hmm.
where people can actually go visit.
Hmm.
So,
That wouldn't appeal to me.
well, yeah, it's a cartoon.
Right.
No, it's a video game.
Well, video game, and it's all right, it's an 8-bit cartoon.
So it's the Super Nintendo world, and it's in Japan. I don't think it's open yet.
I thought it was open. All right.
And it
Would you go
Yeah,
to that, Seth?
Super Nintendo World Japan looks like a Mario level dropped into reality.
Yep. Would you go?
Yeah, I think I would sooner go to the Super Nintendo World probably than Galactic Edge.
Now, what is J World? Says
I
it's
have never heard of that.
Well,
J World Tokyo is an anime theme park. So I'm wondering.
there's supposed to be Bill. There's supposed to be the Godzilla Museum there.
Oh, I would definitely go to the Godzilla Museum.
No, if I was in Tokyo, I'd have to go there.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's the Super Mario. Linda's put up a graphic of the Super Mario world.
We really should have been keeping track of if we filled out our top 10 list or not.
Are they? Is that like a padded area? You get to jump on mushrooms and stuff.
I don't think it's padded. I think if you do it, it's at your own risk.
J World, indoor theme park where you can enjoy the world of One Piece, Dragon Ball, Naruto, and others. So that would be interesting. That would be a hell of a thing.
All right. Well, you know what? We're almost an hour and 20 minutes into the show here, so probably about time to wrap it up. Any last minute thoughts of where anyone would like to go other than what we've already discussed? I think we kind of hit all my tops.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure there's like dozens more, but they're not on.
Yeah,
the
I would
top.
ask our listeners if there's anything we missed that you
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Send us suggestions. Yeah, where should we go?
And hell is not an option.
Yeah. We would prefer.
We are
positive
currently
feedback, but
in
yeah.
hell. Thank you.
Yes, right. There's many places you could tell us to go. Please don't tell us to go there.
Hell is 2020.
Yeah.
Well, as long as it's a round trip.
Well, true. It'd be fun to go visit, I suppose, just to check it out. Say you'd been there. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So places we can go visit that will take Americans.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Well, cool. Well, thank you all for listening to another episode. We hope you join us next time for some more interesting discussion. In the meantime, be sure to check us out. Our website is galacticdriftwood.space. And from there, you can get links to all of our social media locations. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. You can find our audio on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Google Play. And of course, you can find this video that you may be watching already on YouTube. And if you're just listening to us on audio, go check us out on YouTube and watch the video. You can see maybe one day Charles's head in a box.
I mean, his head is in a box right
Well, that's true.
now.
That's true.
I mean, not the box you
It's a
obviously
virtual
want
box.
to put his head in,
Right.
Oh, I see the blue filter coming. Blue
which,
Yep.
which should make Charles very nervous
Right. I
on
can
a
see,
regular basis.
right. I just seeing Charles in this box on my screen is just making me long for the ultimate cosplay.
Yeah.
So we'll make it happen.
Well, also, we're
This
part
isn't-
of
this isn't
the.
getting like sexual or anything, is it, Bill? It's like
No.
it's starting to get kind of dark.
Nope. It's strictly cosplay. And what were we going to say, Seth?
We're part of the Synergy Nation podcast network.
Uh-huh.
So you can check out our sister shows on synnation.net.
Yep.
Thoughts and
Yeah.
Shots, Running Up the Tab, The Weekly Geekly, all recommended shows.
All right. Well, thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Galactic Driftwood podcast. For more information and past episodes, please visit our website at galacticdriftwood.space or subscribe to us on YouTube. And now, please deactivate your cranial downlinks, collect your towels, and be sure to watch your step as you exit our gravity well.